This video is going to go through the Gatefold card set, and when you open this file you will see that there are several different sets of cutting files. So we'll start at the top. This cutting file set here at the very top, this is a traditional gatefold where the two sides will fold in on the center. This card set is going to cut out of a standard sheet of paper. You can cut this out of a 12-inch. The cutting size is 5.5 by 11, so it will cut 11 by 11. You can actually get two card bases out of one 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock. And then you see the layering pieces. So these are the layering pieces for the inside of the card. Now this flap and this flap will fold in. So these two layering pieces are for the outside of the card. So when you're looking at the card before you open it, these two pieces will be there. And then when you open it, this is the view that you will have. So that is that section. Now these are all grouped, so it makes it easier to go ahead, and so this group we're not going to do today, so I'm just going to go ahead and hide it. Now this one is a double fold gatefold. So this fold line will fold in, and then these will fold back to create more of a folding door type card. Again, this is 5.5 by 11, and so you can cut two from a 12-inch piece of cardstock. That's the one that we're going to work on in this video. This one here is to allow you to create a larger version of this same card. It does cut on two pieces of paper, and you are going to have to piece it together. So I'm going to ungroup this so we can look at it for a second. You have this end panel, you have this end panel, and let's get rid of these, and then you have a front and a back panel. So you're going to cut all four of these pieces out of the cardstock for your actual card. The yellow and tan pieces are going to be your layering. So you will have a front and a back, and then two side pieces. You'll take the back piece and you're going to lay it close to that scoring line, and you will adhere it there. Same thing here. Then you're going to put adhesive down here on this narrow section, and you're going to adhere it to this piece. Now actually I'm gonna, because what you want to do is take this piece and put adhesive on the back and then lay it on top of that back piece, and then you want to take adhesive to the back of this piece and lay it on top of that back piece. Then you're going to run adhesive down each of these flaps as well as the center, and then you're going to lay on this top piece, which serves as the inside piece of your card, and it gives you a nice finished look. Now you have, again, you have your mats. If you want to do a double mat on the inside, you have a base mat, and then this tan one. Now the tan one, if you were going to do writing here in your design space, you would go ahead and add your text, your verbiage, whatever sentiments or things that you're wanting to say inside of your card would go here. Then you have a base mat for the outside of your card, and then you have the top layer, and this is where your embellishment decoration would go. So I hope that makes sense as to how you would create this larger card. And this one does come out to be about 7 inches, and when it's folded, it's going to be 5 inches. So it's going to be a 5x7 card. So that is that one. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to hide that one as well. And then lastly, we have this one, which there are pictures of. It looks more complex than it is. So you have your base, which will cut out of, you can cut 2 out of a 12-inch piece of cardstock again. And so you have this base piece. This one you fold away from the card. This one you fold away. This you fold in. This you fold in. And then these are your mats. And so we have a couple different colors to give you that interesting look. This is the inside of your card. This is where your sentiment, again, any verbiage that you want on the inside of your card, if you're doing it in Design Space, would go right here. And then we have the other pieces. Now, again, this card does work out to be, what is it? It's going to be, I think it's 5 3/4 inches, and then it's going to be about 3 3/4 inches once it's, well, actually once it's folded, it is considerably larger. Okay, so the size on this, you would want to use probably a larger rectangle envelope so you're not paying the extra postage, or a 7-inch square. We're looking at it being about 5 3/4 by about, crosswise I'm looking at 6 3/4 for the envelope size on that once it is folded. So again, today, this one we are not going to do on this video, and I am sure that one's pretty self-explanatory. Once you cut it and you fold it on the lines, you're going to see it automatically how that one goes together. So we're going to do this card today. So again, I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this, and I will be cutting 2 of the base card, and then I will only do 1 set of the mats, because I'll just put the other base away and I can use it at another time. And then when I'm doing it, I can cut them, and all I've got to do again is just go ahead and hide this, and I can cut just a set of mats later when I know what card I'm going to use this for. But today I do need a birthday card, so that is what we will be doing. So I am going to stamp my sentiment here, and I'm going to do some embossing techniques on the side panels. But I do want a closure for this gatefold. So I am going to go to Images, and I typed in Happy Birthday, and I'm going to pull up this image here. We're going to click on Insert Image, and I have this. So I'm going to change its size to fit on here because I want it to overlap the 2 gates as more or less the latch. So we're going to change the size of this, and I think if I were to go to about 2 1/4 inches by, say, 1 1/2, there we are, and that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to cut my card out of white, and I think I want this layer in white, but I want this portion to match that. Now, it doesn't have to be the exact color that I'm going to use. I could do light pink and dark pink, but I just want them so that each of the layers falls on the right mat. So I have that. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to cut all of this out. And I'm going to run these yellow pieces, well, not this one, but these yellow pieces I'm going to go ahead and run through and emboss and do a technique on those. And then I'm going to assemble this, assemble the card, and you will see once we get into that assembly process how each of the pieces work. So we're going to click on Make It. And there is my happy birthday. Now I'm going to cancel because I forgot. I said I was going to make 2 of this base. So I'm just going to duplicate. I right clicked. I could just go here to duplicate. So I'm just going to duplicate that. And now if I click Make It, there we are. So there's my happy birthday base. And this is a print then cut. It's something that I had done previously and used. And here is my tan and there is my yellow. And so this I will be cutting out of 8.5 by 11. This one will also be cut from an 8.5 by 11. And then obviously this is going to come out of the 12 by 12. This is a print then cut, so it's going to be out of an 8.5 by 11 as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue and get this cut, and then I'll be back when we go ahead and assemble. Okay, it's time to assemble the Gatefold card, and I wanted to go through some of the tools that I have used with this and just kind of touch base, because I use a variety of tools and I talk about them and comment on posts regarding them, but to actually show you is kind of a different thing. So the first thing I want to show you, flip this light off, I think. The first thing I want to show you is I use a stamping platform. I'm not a stamper, never was, because I could never do a good job. And I came across this Crafter's Companion set, and it comes with the stamping platform, the mat, and then actually I have 2 different size platforms for different size stamps. So with a card today, I'm using the smaller, and the stamp I'm using is actually also from Crafter's Companion. And all you do is flip it over and position this on the back side, and then take your ink pad. Now this one also is Crafter's Companion. This is called a quick dry die, and it's in black. And I just go ahead and ink up the stamp. And then I always do a test stamp, especially with a new stamp, because sometimes they're a little bit splotchy the first few times. But you just lie your piece of paper down. This is actually my test stamp. And then position it where you want. You press down, you hold it nice and tight, let it back up, and you get a very clear stamp, as you can see here. So that was my test where I stamped it off. And actually on here you can see that this top part of the word May did not come out clear. When I re-inked it, you can see here it came out beautiful. So that is how I got the stamped image on there. The next thing I'm going to do is to adhere the print and cut to the matte piece that I have. And this is actually cut from a piece of printer paper. So with that said, I don't want to run like my tape gun over it, because if I do, I'm going to risk ruining it. I don't want to use a glue that is going to ruin my paper. And I want to use a glue that's actually going to run. No, seriously though. I don't want to use a glue. A lot of glues cause paper to to buckle, and I don't want to use one that is going to do that. So I use this glue. It is called Kalal. I'll show you the face of it. And it is just a tacky glue. That is the Kalal tacky glue. It's quick drying. I like it because there's just a little bit of open time, but it does not, you know, cause your paper to wrinkle. Now, another thing that I use is the brayer. I have the Cricut brayer. I use this every time I use my Cricut. When I'm putting the paper on my mat, I run the brayer over it just to be sure that it is adhered well. And honestly, then I run my hand across it, and if I feel any bumps in my mat, then I know it's not going to cut clean, because that's one of those things that's going to impede the cutting of it. So I lift my material back up, and then I go ahead and remove whatever it is that is in the way. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my matting. And so I have a Scotch Advanced Tape Glider. I absolutely love this beast. I know it's a pain to replace the tape cartridge on the inside, and it kind of looks like I'm going to have to do that soon. But in sincerity, it is so worth it because it lasts for a very, very long time, and it works great. It's inexpensive comparative to the smaller disposable ones, and honestly, I just love it. So I did go ahead and cut out the matting set for 2 cards, contrary to what I said in the first video, the part where we were setting up and cutting. So I am going to go ahead and also do that card at the same time. Now, the neat thing here is when I need this other card, all I got to do is stamp a sentiment here and do a little design thing for the front closure if I decide I want to do that, and it will be all done. And several of my things do come from Crafter's Companion. I'll be 100% honest there. I do love their products. I like the quality. The owner of the company is very real. They do demonstrate a lot on HSN. They also do a lot of demonstrations right on their YouTube channel and their website. And many years ago, I met her when she had just gotten out of college and was basically really getting started, and purchased a product from her at a craft expo. And I've been following her ever since. And as I said, I like her. I like the way she presents herself. She's very real. She now is married, has a couple of children, and I follow her on Facebook, and she's just a real mom. You know, she seems like a good person. So I like that, but I also like the quality of the products that they make. Now, I know that as they've grown, they've had some stumbles and stuff, and people may have some negative things to say, but you kind of have to understand that companies do grow, and right now during this pandemic, there are a lot of other issues out there. So with that said, I do use a lot of their products. This stamp is actually from a compendium of sentiment stamps that they have that you can just pull out and stamp a different card. So that's what I'll do with this one. Now I have all my matting done. I have my base card here. As I said, these inside ones fold in, and my trusty letter folder, bone folder from Cricut a million years ago. And then this one is also going to fold in. I have a few very old Cricut things from when Cricut first came out. Actually, my mouse pad up here is actually a Cricut mouse pad. So kind of fun. So there is that. Now to create this gatefold, we're going to fold back on that other score line. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. And that gives us our gatefold. So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere these pieces. This piece goes in the center. And then once I get this guy on here, like so, then this will go here to form the closure. And then it opens like this. So I'm not going to bore you watching me glue down all of these pieces. I did want to show you that other one that is in the same file. This is the card that has the diagonals. And so the base, you're going to go ahead and, again, same as that one, fold these in. And then instead of folding them out like we did in this one, they just fold down. So we're going to fold this one down, and then this one we're going to fold this way. So then this card is like this. Kind of cool, huh? So that's what I was saying as far as the envelope you're going to need. It has to accommodate this odd shape. So I would kind of square it, I think, and then just do the envelope to fit there. And maybe if I get ambitious here shortly, I will go ahead and add an envelope file to it that will work for this card. So then this card opens this way. He's really kind of cute. It stands up kind of funky, but otherwise I really do like this. I thought it was kind of an interesting take on a gatefold. So the simple gatefold is basically the same thing, except it doesn't have this extra flap. So it's just going to look like this, and it'll open like this. This is the double gatefold, and as I said, when it's done, it is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. And yes, I did get 2 out of that sheet of 12 by 12 paper. So I hope this helps. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And as always, if you like this video, please click like and subscribe. Thanks again.